The two dots. Two dots. You have it, Judah. Hahi itzaso davi mifte gabo malugash the story. This woman, she had a pouch with documents. A woman, and these documents were loan documents that belonged to her husband who died. Okay, we rule like Rabbi Kiva that the moment the man dies, metaltlin, the ksuba cannot be collected from metaltlin. If she sees it when he's alive, the metaltlin, and then subsequently he dies, she can take it for the ksuba. But if she seizes it after he dies, then it belongs. She's seizing something that belongs to the Yorshim. Therefore, it's not a valid seizure. So listen to the story. This woman had a pouch of documents. So how did she get the pouch? Evidently, her husband gave it to her. But let's say she was a shomer. That means it's not called a seizure, right? It's not a seizure. She had it. Also, Yorshim v'kotovi lo mino. So after the father passed away, the Yorshim, they said, we want the documents. These are loan documents. Omra lehu michaim tafisnolu. She says, I already seized it when your father was alive. I seized it. Yeah? 1 second. So they came before Rav Nachman. Omar los, he says to her, look, do you have proof that you went to your husband when he was alive and you asked him for the ksuba and he wouldn't give it? And therefore, that's why you're holding the documents. So if you made the request, you wanted to be paid for the ksuba, have something, and he withheld it, and therefore you have it, so you're having it is called seizure. 1 second. Oma lo. So she says, no, I have no witnesses. Im kain havit fis lachem isa. Therefore, so when is the seizure? You're withholding it from who? Not from you're withholding from the Yorshim. So when he was alive, when you had the documents, what was it? You were a shomer. But now that you want to withhold it for the ksuba, when are you withholding it? After he died, it's too late. Utfis lachem islav klumi. Seizure after the husband dies, because since the Yorshim already inherited it, you have no right to take it. Yeah, but she's only entitled to collect from the fixed properties, from the karka, not from the metaltlin. There's metaltlin. There's the documents. They're loan monetary documents. Hahi itzaso di chayva shvua beidino the rava. This woman, she had to take a shvua with the bezna rava. Omer the Basar of Chisda. Basar of Chisda was Rava's wife. She's referred to as the daughter of Chisda. Yodana bod the Chashuda Ashua. Yeah. She says to her husband, this woman, she can't be trusted. The past, she lies. So giving her shua, you're wasting your time. So when Rava heard his wife tell him that, Rava l'shua Achrei Kedoshim. So Rava said, the one who's making the claim, that person swears. So meaning he believed his wife was credible, and he accepted what she was saying. Zimna Haviyasvi Kamei, the Gemara tells the story. There were times Haviyasvi Kamei Rav Papa Ravad Bar Masna. Rav Papa and Ravad Bar Masna was sitting before Rava. Aisu Ahushtor Gabeg. And now a document was presented before Rava. Rava is the Dayan. Amalei Rav Papa, being one of the observers, says to Rava, Yadana Bey the Shtar Pariyahu. The document that they presented you already was paid off. Therefore, you shouldn't give it any value. Omalei. So Rava says to Rav Papa, Ika inish achrina b'hadei demar. Do you have somebody else accompanying you? I mean, are the two people saying what you're saying? You plus another person. Omalei, lo, nobody else. Omalei, avagav dikamar. Even though you're saying what you're saying, eid echad lav klumu. You're only in eid echad. We're talking about a monetary situation here, right? You need two witnesses. Omalei Ravada bar Masda. So Ravada bar Masda, that's Rav Papa's colleague, says to Rava, "Below ye Rav Papa kebas Rav Chisda." Why should Rav Papa be worse than your wife, Rav Chisda? Well, she said the woman had no credibility. Sure, you believed her. So why don't you believe Rava? Bas Rav Chisda, he says, Bas Rav Chisda kimli bagavo. Bas Rav Chisda, my wife, I know she's truthful, and I could rely on her 100%. Marlo kimli bagaveg. I can't rely on you the way I can rely on my wife. So what you're saying has no credibility to me. Unless they're two witnesses, means nothing. Omer Rav Papa. So Rav Papa says, Hashdom Amar, Kimli Begave Milsi. If you're telling me, Rav Papa says, if you know someone, then it has value. He says, if that's the case, go to Abra Mori Bray Bri. He says, who is it? Go to Abba Mori Bray. Abba Mori, my son, the Kimli Begave. the kimli begave, that you know who he is. Karana shtar apume. Do you mean to say if he would tell you the document's paid, would you tear up the document? He says to Rav, would you destroy the document? She says, Karan so kadaito. Yeah. He says, definitely. He says, do you think I would even consider tearing up that? Rav is saying, even if I would know the person, I would never tear up the document. Ela marana shtar apume, meaning it would cast doubt on the document. What you're saying doesn't even cast doubt on the document. So therefore, the one who has the document doesn't even have to swear. But if somebody who has credibility would say it's a problem, before they would be able to collect, they'd have to swear and then collect with the document. That's Marana Shtora. Not to destroy, not to invalidate the document, but to cast question. Therefore, shvuah would be sufficient. Mor tells another story. God, what he was saying? No, Shtav Yotcha, my boy. But the Gemara says, what are we obligated to swear? Because sometimes the person, the lender, the borrower pays, but since the lender paid for the fee for the sofer, the lender is not willing to release the document until he's reimbursed the fee. Right? So that's a possibility. Right? It's called pshita de safra, the fee for the sofer. That's why the malveh was able to retain the document. And say the borrower didn't have enough money to pay the loan plus the sofer's fee. So he paid. The malveh said, "I'm not getting until I get my full money. You have to pay me for the sofer's fee," which he didn't have. That's why, if that's the case, it's a paid document, and by allowing him to keep it, he's going to collect twice. So therefore, he has to take a shvuah before. Right, exactly. Listen to the story. This woman, she was obligated to take a shvuah in the bezdin of Bibi Barabaye. Yeah. So the Baldova says, I want her to swear. How does he explain b'masa, b'masoy? How does he explain? In town, I think. How does he explain it over there? B'maso. Here. You won't give it to me. Let me see what it is. B'maso. No, 1 second. Yeah. The other Lithuanian said to the judges, let her come and swear in our hometown. Yeah? Because she'll be embarrassed to swear falsely and she'll admit it. Yeah, so she said, write me a letter of acquittal stating that I came to judgment and was freed of liability through an oath. Yeah, this is what she asked. He says, I'm willing to come. Meaning, the Baldin said, let her come to our town, let her swear there, because there she'll be too embarrassed. Right? And therefore, that'll force her to admit. Omra Luhu. So she said to the Dayan, she said to Rabbi Barabaye, Kisli Zachvosa, write me a document of acquittal. What should it say? That when I swear there, right, you give me the document. Omra Rabbi Barabaye, Kisvulo. So Rabbi Barabaye says, write her the document. So if actually she didn't take an oath here. So he wrote a document to her before she even took the oath. Before they gave it to her. But it said in the document, the woman took the oath, and therefore she's acquitted. Omer Rapabi Mishum. So Rapabi says to Rabbi Bai, Mishum Dasoy Asisu. Mimuloi. He was from the family of what? Of Eli. The family of Eli, the Gemara says Rosh Hashanah, they passed away early. So he says, because you come from people who are cut off, you say words which are cut off, meaning they don't have any validity. That's what he says to Rabbi Rabbi. How do you write such a document? He says, let's say you have what's called a henpick. You have a certification of daughter. It says, we, the Dayarim, we in our presence, witnesses testified that these signatures are their signatures, and they signed the names. Are you allowed to write such a certification before the witnesses testify? You can't. Why? Because it's Mersi Keshikra. I mean, how do you write a document if it's not true? Alma Mersi Keshikra. So you see, anything which which smell of falsehood, you're not permitted to do. Hachanami, Mersi Keshikra. She didn't swear, and you're writing the thing in the document before. Valeso. Samar says, Veleso. He says, but it's incorrect what you're saying. But you see that's not correct. Rav Nachman, the Omer Rav Nachman, Omahoy Rameir says this is in Gittin. Rameir holds that a get does not be written Lushma. So if a get's written for Ruvain and Leah, another person with the same name can use that get. Okay? He holds only the Chasim has to be Lushma. The signing, but the actual text does not be Lushma. So therefore, let's say you find the waste can. A get with all the text, identical text of this person. The date, the town, everything is the same. He says, even Motz Bashba, you can take it. That's Rameir. Omer Rameir, I feel Motz Bashba, B'chosmu. And then they signed on it for this new couple, kosher. Where did the Rabbanan argue that's all Giti Noshim because what the Torah says has to be written Lishma, is it the text or it's the Chasima? The being a Ksiva Lishma, Avu Shar story, but we're talking about monetary documents. Modu, the Omer Ravasi, Omer Rabbi Shtar Shelovo Poro, Ein Chosav Lova Bo. Let's say Reuven borrowed money from Shimon. And the same day he paid, and he says, I want to borrow again. Could you use that original document? You can't use the original document. Why can't you use the original document? Shvar nimchal shibudo, because if you want to collect from lien properties, you won't. The document to collect, it has to be written specifically for this debt. So therefore, what is it? It's basically a milva peh. It's a milva peh. Time of the nimchal shibudo. What's the reason why you can't use the document again? Not because it's mechzik shikro, but because of what? It's nimchal shibudo, because you're going to take the document and collect from the properties that were sold off. And that's going to be a problem. Okay? So therefore you have no claim. So what Rabbi Bibai said was not a problem. Au Gavro. The Afgid Shev Marganiso, the Tsar Besadino. You this? Bey Reb Mesha, Bar Berei, the Reb Shimon Levi. A person left for safekeeping 7 diamonds or 7 pearls wrapped in a cloth in the house of Reb Mesha. Reb Mesha was the Shomer, Reb Mesha was the grandson of Reb Shimon Levi. Bar Berei Reb Shimon Levi. He was a big miyuchos. Right? Came from a prestigious line. Reb Shimon Levi. Shochav Reb Mesha, v'lo pokid. Reb Mesha died, and he didn't tell his family that it was a pikodin. So what did the kids think? The kids thought it was theirs. It was their father's. Shochav Reb Mesha, v'lo pokid. He didn't leave over a last will and testament to tell them what exactly it was. He didn't instruct. Os coming to Rabami, so they came to Rabami because they claimed. They said it may be our father's. He says no. I gave it to him for safekeeping. Who do you believe? You say about Varaya. So they came before Rabami. Listen to the story. Omar so he said to the kids, Chado. First, I know it's not Ramesh's. Why? The Yadana Bey, the Rebesha, Baba Shua, Omid. First, he wasn't a wealthy man. To be able to possess these kinds of diamonds, you got to be wealthy. He's not a wealthy man, so what does he come to that? So evidently, it's the other person he gave it to. Va'od, secondly, Hoka Yahiv Simno. The man is giving very specific signs that to what? To identify the cloth and everything. Sad as unless it's his. So good. So Tosas explained. So giving a sign wouldn't be good enough because maybe he bought it from him, maybe gifted it to him, right? But it's unusual. So let's say Ramesh would be alive and he'd say it's mine. He'd be believed. Even if the other guy gave signs. Why? Let's say I have a jacket and I sell it to you. If I sell it to you, I could tell you exactly every stitch in the jacket. Doesn't make a difference. Of course you could tell because originally it was yours, but you sold it to the other person. So if Reb Mesha would have been alive and he would give it, if Reb Mesha, it's mine, he has a right to keep it. But the Bezdin should say that on behalf of the Yisomim, it's something which is remote. And because it's remote, we don't say something that's remote. See, secondly, he's identified. Now he says, this person who claims it says, it's not a person who frequents Reb Mesha's house. Why? Because he frequents Reb Mesha, it's possible he saw it. Of course he knew what it was. So identify means nothing. A person every Shabbos comes to a person's house. And he knows that he sits by that dining room table for the past 25 years. He can tell you every scratch on the table. Because he even made some of the scratches. Right? So that's a proof because he could identify the table. It means nothing because he frequents the house. So if the person who's giving the sign frequents the house, doesn't mean anything, right? It was me at a person who's making the claim he doesn't normally frequent the house. He's not accustomed to going there. I'll tell you something. It may not be Ramesh's, but it could be somebody else's. Somebody else may have given him for safekeeping. And he saw it. Said the man is a charlatan. It may not be Ramesh's, but who said it's yours? The sign means nothing. It's like an Aveda. A person gives a sign for an Aveda. Why do we say it? Because how would he known otherwise? But over here, there's a reason why we would have known. Because he frequent the house. Right? Very logical. No. Ramesha definitely didn't buy it. He's not a rich man. He couldn't afford this kind of thing. Right? So, but say, let's say this man was identifying it. He gives an identifying sign. What's the proof? Even it may not be Ramesh's, but maybe it's somebody else's. It could be a third party's. You have to minimally identify that it's yours, right? It's not that you have a receipt that you gave him a picodon. You have no receipt. So what's the indication? Because you identify it. But that doesn't mean it's yours either. It could be somebody else's. Another story, which is the identical story. So, but I can't really. I'm a shomer. It's no worse than a shomer Aveda. No, he's not a rich man. You don't give that kind of collateral. I give you $1 million worth of diamonds. You let me $5. You couldn't afford to lend me more than $5. We're talking about you have to be a rich man to have these kinds of diamonds. It's 7 diamonds. You know, a little piece of the paper you use, whatever it is. But it seems to be you have to be a rich man to possess this kind of thing. An ordinary person, especially a poor man, cannot possess it. Right? Another story. Who gavra the afkid kasa de kaspo. Bechasa. Yeah? A person had given a silver cup to this person. His name was Chasa. Chasa. Shochav Chasa. Chasa passed away. V'lopokit, but I tell the family that he has this silver cup, was given to him as a picodon. Osla coming to Rav Nachman, so the person made the claim. They came before Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman is the Dayan. Omlu Yadana Be Bechaslo Omid. To be able to possess this kind of cup, you have to be a rich man. So definitely it's not Chasus. It's not Chasus cup. V'od Hokayob Simna, not only the person is identifying the cup, V'lomar Lo Rogil, same thing. And Rav Nachman, that's only if he doesn't frequent Lo Rogil, the Ayil, V'nofik Losov, he doesn't come in and out of that house. Abu Rogil, V'ayil, V'nofik Losov, Eimar, Inish Achrino Afkid. It belongs to a third party. Third party gave it as a picodon. And this man is able to identify it because he saw it. He saw it there many times. Therefore, his identification means nothing. Hogavro hahuda afkid metakso bei ravdimi. You hear this? Achva de Rav Safa. This man gave a silk coat, right? A silk tishbekish, silk. So it's an expensive garment, and he gave it for safekeeping to Rav Dimi, who is the brother of Rav Safra. Shoch Rav Dimi. Rav Dimi, the Shoba, passed away. Lo Pokit, he didn't say a word to anybody. So the question, who owns it? Osl Kamei de Rababa Omalu Chadi Dana Be Rav Dimi Lo Omid. First, to have this kind of silk coat, you have to be a wealthy man. So it definitely doesn't belong to Rav Dimi. That's understood. I'll give you a better one. He has a type of jacket that only a rock singer wears. It's not the rabbis. You understand? No question. It's not the rabbis. So the question, whose is it? Well, he's identifying it. Why? Because the color he has, he wears that kind of jacket. Okay? That's it. But there's another person who wears that kind of jacket also. Okay? Again, when will we give this silk coat to this person? That's only if he doesn't frequent the house. Somebody else gave it. He saw it. Okay? So we have 3 cases, basically the same thing. So you see, you just have to have, so what's the 5th chelik to Shulchan Aruch? Seichel. Right? This is all based just on logic. It can't be his because he's not rich. And even if you give the sign, that's only if you don't frequent the house. Because if you frequent it, you picked it up, you saw it. That's how you're able to identify it. Okay? This is the 5th chelik of Shulchan Aruch. Seichel. Hu da'amadu. A person's on his deathbed and he says, Nichsa nechosei l'tuvya. Right? Mat neshchimira. Person on his deathbed, he says, all my property should go to Tuvya. Tuvya. Now there are 2 people. One person's name is Rav Tuvya, a great Talmud Chacham. Another person's name is Tuvya, an ordinary guy. So we have a question, who did he mean? Did he mean the ordinary Tuvia, or did he mean Rav Tuvia? You say, speak about such a Chosh v'Talmud Chacham, you say Rav Tuvia. So Tuvia would automatically indicate who? The ordinary Tuvia, right? You say Moshe Tzvi. You say Rav Moshe Tzvi, okay? In Teaneck, they call him Rav Moshe Tzvi. Here we call him Howard, okay? Okay. So this man is on his deathbed, and he says, Nechosai l'Tuvia, Shochiv, and he passed away. So what happened? Also Tuvia. So Tuvia shows up. Tuvia lived in town. He comes, he says, I'm Tuvia. Presents his driver's license with his picture. It's Tuvia. Right? Unmistakably, it is Tuvia. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Harei po Tuvia. Yeah. So he says, Tuvia came. Omer Tuvia. Vasa Rav Tuvia. The Tuvia. What happened? Rav Tuvia came to Tuvia. Omalei Tuvia v'lo Omar. Tuvia Omar Rav Tuvia lo Omar. Rav Tuvia shows, he says, he meant me. Who said he meant you? So Tuvia says, he said Tuvia, he didn't say Rav Tuvia. Right? So evidently, I'm the one who's the beneficiary of what he said, of the gift. Yeah, interesting Shiloh. Right? Right? You have two people here in Yad Avram. You have Norman Horowitz, Nachi Horowitz, and you have Norman Maggid. He says, it's Norman's. Did he say Dr. Norman? He didn't say Dr. Norman. So who do you give it to? Norman or Dr. Norman? No, seriously. This has implications. I'm just bringing it out. V'inish the guy spake. What about, even though he was Rav Tuvia, let's say the person was on his deathbed, he had a very chummy relationship with the rabbi. So he referred to the rabbi as Tuvia. He didn't say Rav. He didn't predicate it with a title. So when he said Tuvia, he could have meant the Rav. Even though he omitted the word Rav. No, they're childhood friends. He's a Talmud Chacham, but he still refers to him by his, without the title. The Inish the guy spake, Hogis spake. Yeah. So factually it is. So now we have a quandary. Who would he want to give it to? Right, to the Talmud Chacham or to the ordinary Tuvia? So the Gemara says like this. Also Shnei Tuvia, Shochim the Talmud. Let's say the two Tuvias came. One was a neighbor, and the other was a Talmud Chacham. We try to figure, who would he want to give it to? To the neighbor or the Talmud Chacham? Talmud Chacham Kodim. We could say with certainty, if he's leaving, he's giving away something of great value, he would prefer to, and he knows both people, he would prefer to give it to Rav Tuvia. So Rashi says, what's the reason? Because the person, when he dies, he wants to have a schus. Right? He did a mitzvah. He gave it to a Talmud Chacham. What about Korov at Talmud Chacham? What about it's a relative? He has a relative by the name of Tuvia. And his Talmud Chacham's name is Tuvia. Would he prefer to give it to the relative or the Talmud Chacham? Talmud Chacham coded. Talmud Chacham also it takes precedence. Iboilu, what about Shochan v'Korov? What about a neighbor and a relative? So now it's a quandary, right? So we made it clear. Talmud Chacham comes before an ordinary person. A Talmud Chacham comes before a neighbor and before a relative. That's what he would prefer to do. What about a neighbor and a relative? No. He gave the gift before he died. It has nothing to do with Yerusha. It's a question. It's one of these two people. We don't know which one he meant. Toshma. So there's a pasuk in Mishlei. You know what Shlomo Melech says? Tov shochin korov miachrochok. That a person would prefer a friendly neighbor than a distant relative. He may be my relative, but there's a but that follows it. You know. So therefore. So now we have a new question. Shneim Krovim. They're both relatives. Neither is the neighbor. Shnei Shchenim. Two neighbors. Shnei Talmid Shnei Chachomim. So now they're on equal standing. Shuda Dani. So the famous Machlokes Rashi. What is Shuda Dani? So Tosa says it's a toss of a coin. Whatever the judge wants to do, since there's no way to determine who has the right, whoever the judge wants to award it to, he awards it to that person. Rashi always says, in Shas Rashbam, that he makes an evaluation. To who would he want to give it to? Even they're both Talmid Chacham. Who did he have a closer relationship with? You try to figure out who. That's Rashi. Tosas Shudadani doesn't mean that. It means it's like a toss of a coin. You call heads, you call tails, whatever calls, that's the one who gets it. Literally means the toss of the dice. That's Shuda. The word Shuda means the throwing out. Omer Rabba Lebrei Rav Chi Barovin. Rava said to the son of Achrei Kedoshim, "Say imeloch milso mal yisod av oma avuch." He says, "Come, I want to tell you something special that your father said over." Yeah? Rava's Rava, the great Rava, is saying to the son of Achrei Kedoshim, "I want to tell you something special that your father said." We had this in Kedushin. What happens if a person has a loan document? Here, Ruvain lent Shimon money, $1,000. Now, Ruvain now goes, so Ruvain is the lender. So, on the open market, how much can you sell the document for? Not for $1,000. Discounted, $800, $500. Okay, so now the person purchases the document. Now, when the man has the document to collect, what are his rights? That it's a means of collection. But who is the money really owed to? I say the money is owed to the lender. I bought the right to collect. What happens if the lender waives the debt? Right? The only reason why I have a right to collect is because I'm taking over the right of the lender. But factually, who's the money owed to? It's owed to the original lender. That's the first person, not the second person. So what happens if the original lender says, "I waive the debt"? You understand? You have a right to collect if there's a debt. But if the first lender waives it, you're left with a piece of paper. Right? That's Shmuel. Shmuel says, the person sells his loan document to a third party, and then he waives the loan. The seller waives it. Mocho, it's gone. It's worth, all that you have left in your hand is the piece of paper. The person has a key to Fort Knox. Fort Knox moves somewhere else. So what are you left with? You're left with the key. There's no Fort Knox. Okay, same story. Va'afilu yorish mochel. Yeah, what happened? What happens? Ruvain, Yaakov is the original lender. Yeah, Yaakov sold the document to Lavan. And Yaakov dies, so who's his heir? Ruvain is his heir. And Yaakov, now Lavan has document. Now the Yorish, the heir, waives the debt. So who's owed the money? The heir. Because Ruvain is the heir of Yaakov. Yaakov is the original lender. So not only could Yaakov waive the debt, even the heir, because he inherited the right. Okay? Afil Yorish mochel. Moder of Shmuel, but Shmuel concurs. What about a woman? She gets married and she brings value into the marriage. Right? We spoke of Nixi Mulug, Nixi Tzom Barzel, and she brings a loan document in. That's part of her portfolio of assets. Okay? V'chozer mochloso. And after she's married to the husband, she has a fight with her husband. She says, "No, I'm going to make you be worthless with one word. I'm going to waive all the debts that I brought in." Right? She'enu mochel. There, her canceling her waiving is not a waiving. Why? Because when the man marries the woman, he takes on the exact same strength as she does. So he becomes the creditor. It's not like selling a document. He is like her. So if he's like her, right? Let's say a person, there's an expression. Excuse me, this might. Doesn't make a difference, because he's the equivalent of the lender. It's like I say, a person speaks out of two sides of his mouth. He says, "I waive it, but you owe me the money." So what does that mean? It means nothing. So she says, but I lent originally, but I'm the lender today. So before she lent, but she wants to waive it after she brought into the marriage, and the husband takes possession of those debts. She said, but the husband's a purchaser. No, his husband's better than a buyer. It's not he bought the debt, he is the creditor. He's fully in his control. But she says, but I'm the one who's owed the money. No, he's the one who's owed the money. So therefore, your waiving means nothing. No, property, for sure she can't give away property. That, if I sell you property, it's your. What about a debt? That's the chiddush. When you sell a debt, you're not selling, the man factually borrowed from the lender. When I'm selling you the debt, I'm selling you the right to collect. Movables, a document could also be a document. Movables could be not only cash, something which has value. A chair is movable, but a chair, its value lies in the chair. What is a loan document? What's its value? The ability to collect. But the value of the ability to collect is if you could collect. But if there's no debt, what are you collecting? No, she gets everything back. She gets it back. That's not a problem. Okay. Listen to the story. No, if it's Son Barzil, he could, but if he divorces, he has to fully reimburse her for the value what she brought into the marriage. Right? Everything is evaluated. Anything she's evaluated, brought into the marriage, that's called Son Barzil. That, she's secure, she's guaranteed, he has to fully reimburse her if she's divorced. That's the value of the time of marriage. So if, let's say, they drop in price, doesn't make a difference. He sold them off, he has to pay the full value. They go up in value, sold off, he made the profit. Whatever she brought into the marriage, she has to be fully made whole. She has to be made whole. Okay? All this is very logical. A new story. A lot of stories today. Incidents. Krevose, the Rav Nachman, you hear this? The relative of Rav Nachman, Zavintel Kesuvos b'tovas hanoch. Which, let's say she was alive, the husband was alive. She went and she needed some cash. The husband said, look, I gave you enough spending money. She said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell my ksubah in the open market. That, the person, if I should be divorced, I mean, he's taking a chance, it's all discounted. He'll collect. So that's why she sold it. She got cash for it. She sold it for the ability, that person will have the ability to collect the ksubah. Listen to the story. Igarsha. Yeah. She was divorced. She was divorced afterwards. Ushchiva. Yeah. And what? And she died. She died. She was divorced and she died. Osa kotovilo librato. Yeah. So they came, and so what happened? The ksuba was paid out to the daughter. Her daughter is the heir. Yeah, 1 second. They came to the daughter and says, you know something? Your mother sold the ksuba. You have no right to collect the ksuba. We have a right. It wasn't collected yet. Right. But factually, this is like the shtar, this document, the loan document that's sold. You know what's happening over here? So they came to the daughter and they said, you know something? Your mother sold it to us. We have the right to collect. You have no right to collect. Amalu Rav Nachman, Leko de Lisbo lo Eitzo. Right? Tezel v'tichle ksuboso dimo. What does it mean, Leko de Lisbo? You mean, is there a way to deal with this problem? That means his relative, this woman, the daughter of the one who passed away, is a relative of his, a cousin of his, whatever it is. He says, so he advised her, yeah, I'm going to give her advice. I don't know what the leko. What's the leko? What's the leko? The bottom line, it says, Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Rav Nachman. What? Yeah, that's how I understood it. So you know what he did? He gave her advice. You know what he told her? Unbelievable. Tezel v'tichle ksuboso dima. Legabe avua. Now, who's the heir? She's the heir. He said before, even an heir could waive the debt. So he says, you know something? Wait, it's her father. Her father, she inherits the ksuba of her mother. Right? So she says to her father, I'm waiving your financial obligation to my mother. So what happens if she waives the obligation? That means the buyer is left high and dry. Right? Wait, now when the father dies, who's going to be the heir of that money? She's going to be the heir. So ultimately, you're going to get it anyway. Now, if you don't waive it, the man's going to claim it because he bought it from your mother. But if you waive it, the man is out his money. Yeah? And you'll inherit it from him because she's the daughter of the man, of the father. Shama Oslo Achilto. She heard, no, which means he said it to himself. That's what she should do. She heard what he had said, and she did it. She waived it. Omer Rav Nachman, he says, you know something? I shouldn't have done what I did. It says in Mishnah, in the Pirkei Avos, you shouldn't be like an Orchei Dayonim. You shouldn't be an advocate. I mean, a judge has to be impartial. By Rav Nachman making the suggestion, he's favoring her. I mean, right? You have to be impartial. So the question is, if he did the wrong thing, Rav Nachman's not an ordinary person. He doesn't do the wrong thing. So evidently, initially he held it was justified. Then he realized it was unjustified what he did. What did he originally hold, and what did he afterwards? What was the basis for the change? The Navi says, that if your flesh, your relative is financially hurting or whatever it is, do not turn a blind eye on him. You have to go to bat for your relative. That's what he held. So that was an overriding factor. Even though it's true, but who's Rav Nachman? He's not an ordinary person. No, he's a prestigious person. People say, is this appropriate? It doesn't look right. You know what I mean? A man who stands in the eyes before and he's seen as special, people say, you know something, it's not appropriate. So as a result of it, he did the wrong thing. So in halach, he did the right thing. But because of his status and stature, it doesn't look right. It looks bad. Therefore, that's the reason why he said I shouldn't have done it. So factually, he did nothing wrong. You know, the Gemara says, interesting, the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah, Bishul Akum, right? If a non-Jew cooks something that's inedible, can't be eaten raw, unless it's cooked, a non-Jew cooks for you, you're not permitted to eat it. Rabbinic, it's a rabbinic. I mean, all the ingredients are kosher. But the goy cooked something, goy cooks potatoes for you. Okay? Can't eat a potato raw. The halacha is you're not permitted to eat the potato. Even if you cooked it in your pot, everything was kosher, all the ingredients, you're not permitted to eat it. Okay? What about if a guy heats water for you or cooks a carrot? A carrot can be eaten raw, right? Certain vegetables. The halacha is you're permitted to eat it. Because you can eat it because the cooking doesn't turn from inedible to edible. It may be enhancement, but so the level of beholdenness to the goy is not the same, because I could have eaten it without the cooking. What about if a person is an Odom Choshuv? You know, great rabbi, and a goy would cook him something that he could eat. The Gemara says Odom Choshuv, even something that could be eaten in its raw state, he should not eat something that's cooked by a goy. Because what do people say? See, the rabbi ate something that a non-Jew prepared for him. So people are not going to differentiate. See, if that's the case, you could eat. If he prepares a steak for you, broils it on your grill, it's not a problem, because people they make comparisons. They equate one to, even though there's no comparison. That's the reason. That's Odom Choshev shiny. People they say, what's going on over here. Odom Choshev. Omar Guf Omar Shmuel. Shmuel said the person sells a loan document, yeah, and he waives it. The original lender waives it, it's waived. And the buyer is left what? He's left with the paper. Use it as a bottle stopper. Yeah, this, even the heir, he could also be mochel. Why? Because he's the creditor. Omer Afuna Breidver Bishua. So Rav Yeshua says, if this buyer who buys the document from the seller, from the lender, if he's a smart man, you know what he does? Mekarkesh leizuzeh. Yeah, what he does? No. He should take a few coins and he rattles the coin, right? This lender, he wants to sell the document, Norman, right? He wants to sell. That means he needs cash. Why is he sell? The document's worth $1,000. Why is he selling it for $600 or $500? He's pressed for cash. But you realize the man who buys it, he puts himself in a compromised position, because what happens if the lender wants? He could pull shenanigans with the debtor. So you know something? I'll waive it, and then we'll split the difference. right? Like this, yeah. If I come and collect from you, it's $1,000. Now, if I collect from you, I'll sell it. The other man's going to be left high and dry. You'll pay me $500. Says the result is he sold it for $7. He gets $5. He's making money on the deal. He's making $200 on the $1,000 loan, right? And what? And this other man's out his money, whatever he paid for it. So Rav Huna Breidbi of Shua says there's a way. He says if he's a smart man, this buyer, this is what he should do. Mekashke Zuze. He should take out the cash. He says, you want me to buy the document from you? I want you to write a document that you owe me money. You owe me $1,000. You owe me whatever I'm paying. You owe me that amount of money. See, even if the first document is canceled, I have a separate document that you said I owe you the amount of money that I paid for it. So you can do whatever you want with the original document. He says, I'm not even interested in the original document, right? Or I have it. Doesn't make a difference. So this covers him, because if he should waive it and reduce it to nothing, the first document, he's guaranteed he's able to collect with his money, right, with the second document that he wrote him. That's if he's pikech, if he's smart. Omar Avimi. Now, interesting shiloh. There's a Gemara in Bava Kama. What's the halacha? I have an animal. I have a document. It's worth whatever it is, $1,000, whatever it's worth. And somebody comes, impresses it with, and he burns the document. He destroys it. And there's no way to collect from this debtor without that document. So the mazik, the one who burnt it, damaged it, destroyed the document, what did it cost me? It cost me $1,000. Is he a mazik? Is he a damager? Is that called, something that's called grumma? No, the debt isn't in place. The man owes you the money. But if you don't have the document, you can't get the money. So that's called grumma. That's, I caused you damage through indirect cause. The document is the means. It's like I took your key and your key and threw it into the river. You can't get into the vault unless, right? Same idea. So do I have to pay you for the loss that you can't collect? Or do I say, no, that's called indirect cause? So there's an argument made in the Chachamim. It's called garmi. Gar means it's a definite loss, immediate. The moment I burn the document, you're not collecting. No ifs or buts. But did I actually destroy the lien? The lien is in place. So it's more than just it's not directly destroying the object of value, but it's the means to the object of value. It's machlois Rameh and the Chachamim. It's called, if you hold dina to garmi, it's almost direct cause, then you pay. Right? So that's what Mara says. Omer man de don dina to garmi migvi bei the meishtora. Malyo. You got it? The one who rules, when the creditor waived the loan, what did he do? You damaged me. The document that was worth $1,000 was reduced to the value of the paper. You pay me $1,000. The damage you caused me is $1,000 damage. You got to pay $1,000. So Shmuel, even though it's true he canceled it, but he has a claim, takes him to court, he collects $1,000. Because the value of the document is $1,000. The land, no, he sold the document, and then after he sells it, he cancels it. The buyer, does he have a claim against the seller? So if you hold, that garmi is the equivalent of breaking your window. So I take you to court, I have a right to collect. But what about if you hold garmi, you have no, it's not like breaking a window, it's like one step removed. Because here the debt is in place. You just don't have the means to be able to collect. Then the man's out of his money. That's what he says. If you have the opinion, you collect the value of a viable document. You know what you get? You get the paper. It's not worth more than the paper. And the rest, you're out your money. Yeah? You're out your money. Have the uvda, the kafya, ra from the Ravashi. There was an incident. So Rashi says we rule like Rameir, Gedina de Garmi, that he can take him to court, and he has a claim for the full value of the document. That's what we rule. So there was an incident. No, yeah. No, he did. When I bought a document, what was the viability of the document? It was the key to the vault. Now I can't get to the vault anymore because you canceled it. It's like, you know, you give me the key to the vault, then you take the money out of the vault. That's what you did. You took the money out of the vault. What? Canceling the loan. Good. But you damaged me. I had something that I could have gotten something, and you canceled. You took it away from me. That makes it indirect. Okay? So there was an incident. Haviuvta. This story. The kafi rafram le Ravashi, vagbe kikshur letzalmi. Yeah? Ravashi canceled the debt, and Rafram forced Ravashi to pay the debt like buying first quality wood. Yeah? You have to be a little bit of a cabinet maker. When a cabinet buys wood, he makes sure it's the quality and it's straight, it's not warped, because he has to carve it. He has to engrave it. That's the way he paid him to pay for the document, like a first-class document. That's kikashura letzalmi, like when you purchase a beam for engraving, that meaning full value. Omer HaMeimer, listen to the story. Omer HaMeimer, Mishvei Rav Choma, Haima Dika Alei Ksuba Sisha. Yeah, this person he had to pay a debt for a ksuba. Balchov, he had a creditor. Vislei Aro, Vislei Zuzi. The man has land, and the man has cash. Got it? Yeah. Now, who do you pay the cash to? Who do you pay the property to? Do you pay the cash? Not talking about heirs. This is the person himself. The husband with a wife, with a ksuba, and you have the same person has a creditor. Who does he give the cash to? Who does he give the property to? So it says, L'bal chov mesalkin leim bezuzei. The money you give to the debtor, to the creditor, L'isha mesalkin leim baro. Hai kidene, vai kidene. Why? When a man lends you money, what does he want back? You think he wants back a piece of property? He doesn't need a headache. When a woman gets a ksuba, what does she want? She wants security. That when she's divorced, she wants to be secure that she's going to pay the ksuba. So if that's the case, originally what did she want? She wanted land. So now that we have a question of land and cash, the lender gets the cash and the woman gets the property, right? Because that's fair. Good. Below, iko el chararo. What about you have one piece of property? Listen. V'lo chazi el lechad. And you can only pay one. You pay who do you pay? Do you give that one piece of property to the lender? And we're speaking about both of them have the same date. The ksuba has the same date as the loan document. So they have equal claim to the property. Who do you give it to? Well, 1 second. You give it to the lender, not the way you think. My timer, why? Because when a man lends money, what's his intent? He wants to get paid back. When a good woman gets married, does she think about divorce? She didn't. The father, she didn't want. The ksuba is only to guarantee he shouldn't divorce her. But does she want to get divorced? She doesn't want. As a result of that, initially the debt, in terms of obligation paying debt, who was closer to get paid? The creditor. Because the man gave you money only to get paid. Okay. The woman, she got married, she's not getting married to get paid out. Right. Therefore, if you have one property, you give it to the woman, to the lender, and not to the woman. Right. The property now is liened for the ksuba. It's liened for the debt also. Right, but she paid first. That on the same day. The date of the ksuba and the date of the loan document is the same day. What's so difficult? I don't see it. Why? His debt also has to be guaranteed. The man's not lending you money unless he's guaranteed. Right? Same thing. There's enough land to cover A or B. So it says, why? Because when the creditor lends you this money, what was his intent? When I'm lending, I hope to get paid. I want to get paid. When a woman gets married, there may be a financial document. Does she want to get paid out? No. She doesn't even think about divorce. She doesn't want to be divorced. Therefore, the lender, the creditor, is closer to collecting than the woman is collecting. This is called logic. You hear logic. Put on that black hat and pull it tight, and then you'll hear logic. We're not talking about it. What happens if you only have one quality? You only have one quality, so you collect whatever is there. No, she has a way to collect. Let's say there's a lien property. She'll go after the lien property. The property that he has, the free property. She'll go. She'll find something. Or let's say he has earnings. He has other earnings. He'll collect the earnings. Right? It's called garnishing wages. You ever hear that expression? Yeah, credit could also do that. They both could do it. But here it's just a question of who do you give priority to? She worked for the IRS. You'd understand this. What? No, they're both simultaneous. No, if she would be, Haksuba was written before her, then she has first claim. She has first rights. She has first lien. Here, both liens, the dates are at the same date. The day that he got married, he couldn't pay for the wedding. He says, buddy, could you lend me? I got to pay the caterer. Okay, so same date. The Kesuvos are the same date. You got the loan document. Howard, when his father was a caterer, he didn't let you out of the place until you paid. Okay. Okay. We'll reminisce afterwards. Okay. In Bowie, they paid a check, not cash. Okay. Amalei Rav Papa the Rav Chama. Vadi damrisa mishmei derava. He says, Rav Papa said to Rav Chama, Vadi damrisa mishmei derava haiman demaski beizuzi visle yaro. A person who owes money, someone he has a piece of property. V'osa balchova kotova minei. Yeah? And the balchov comes and he collects. V'omalei zilshko be'aro. You hear this? The story. A man says, has property. Credit, I want my money. He says, take the property. We don't say that. You hear the story? V'omalei zilshko aro. And he says, sell the property, you have cash. You understand? The lender has to be busy getting a real estate broker, be involved with this. Amrina le zil zovin at. We say to the creditor, you sell it, right? Excuse me. We say to the debtor, zil zovin at v'aisi havle. You sell it, and then afterwards you give him the cash. We don't put the burden on the lender, but on the debtor. Amale lo emali gufa amale lo. He says no, it's incorrect. Doesn't make what you're telling me is not correct. Emily Gufa du Uvda Hechihavo. He said, tell me the story of what happened. Tell me what happened. Yeah? What happened was, the man originally had money to pay, and he says, the money I have is not my money, it's a goy's money. I can't give you the cash. But factually, it was his money. So he drained the guy a cup. He says, you sell off the property. So what kind of behavior is this? Factually, you had cash to pay, and you didn't want to pay him because he said it's the goy's. So because he didn't behave properly, that's the reason why they ruled. You know something? Under normal circumstances, the debtor has no obligation to sell the property on behalf of the creditor. Say, look, I have to give you value. The value. You'll have difficulty converting it to money, but since ultimately it'll be worth what the loan is, you can ever. But since this guy was playing with he was playing shenanigans, that originally he had the money. He says it's not my money, it's a guy's money. Because you didn't pay properly, we put the burden of selling on, and you give him the cash. Because originally you should have given him the cash. So this is we're penalizing him. Because he initially didn't behave properly, therefore we treat him in this inappropriate way. Amalei Rav Kahano. Amalei Rav Kahano, the Rav Pabli Dochtam, Reprius Balchov Mitzvah. Hear this. According to you, you say that paying a debt is a mitzvah. Hear the story. Amalei lo nechel lev mitzvah. A person borrows money. We say, repaying a debt is a mitzvah. Man, the borrower says, I'm not such a religious Jew. I don't do mitzvahs. Therefore, I'm not paying the debt. Yeah? Amalei lo nechli devid mitzvah. So what do you do with the man? A person doesn't want to put on tefillin. What do you do with the man? If it's a negative commandment, you give him malchus. But it's a mitzvah. So he's not doing. What are you going to do with him? Amalei Tanino. He says, we learned in the Mishnah. What does the Mishnah say? 1 second. There's a Mishnah in Chulin. Baba Kama. Baba Basra. Okay? Amalei Tanino. B'medvar amurim mitzvahs lo saseh. Av mitzvah says, say, to go and lo asi sukkah. You say, Bezdin says to build a sukkah. Ve'eno ose, he's not willing to build a sukkah. Lulav, ve'eno ose, he says, take a lulav, and says, I'm not interested. What does it say? Makados ha'cheitze nafsho. The court beats him until he dies, or until about right before he dies. It's the same thing. You don't want to do the mitzvah. You don't want to pay. It's a mitzvah. The court will take it out, as they say, take it out of your hide, right? If you don't want to pay, you don't want to do the mitzvah. 1 second. Rashi says, what's the mitzvah? Mitzvah l'frochovo ul'amis dvorov. You have the obligation to pay the debt and to be true to your word, right? What is that? The Siv Hint Tzedek, it says regarding weights and measures, that the weights and measures has to be honest. You have to have honest weights and measures. Hint Tzedek, she hein shlochot tzedek, v'lav shlochot tzedek. Yep. He brings Rashi and Chulin. Chulin. Kuf Lamed Beis, Kuf Yud. Okay? Further. Just go a little further. Rami Bar Choma mi Rav Chisda. Rami Bar Choma posed the question to Rav Chisda. Hear this? A man gives a get to a woman. He says, take the get, and the get will be effective in 30 days. And she put it on the side of a Rosh Hashanah. We said earlier that the document has to be in a location that she should be able to what? Possess it. Remember we had earlier, if it's lying in a Rosh Hashanah, Tzid Rosh Hashanah, Mao, is it a valid get? Since when the 30 day comes, it's not in a location that she could acquire it. Amalei, this is the question he posed to Rav Chisda. Ein mugareshes. She's not divorced. Why? Midrav Shmuel. Rav Shmuel Dametavayu Shutzvurin Munochem Rosh Hashanah. When, according to Rav Tarfon, when could you seize the property? And it's not the heirs. It has to be lying in a true public domain. Alongside Rosh Hashanah, that's Rosh Hashanah. Adrabah. So he says, just Mugareshes, Midrav Nachman. You're saying, based on Rav and Shmuel, it's not Mugareshes. I'm saying, based on Rav Nachman, she is divorced. Don't Rav Nachman, Rav Baravua, Omel Chaveru, B'shoch Parazu. Do an act of Meshicha. So we told him Meshicha. Right? And it shouldn't be yours. It shouldn't be effective 30 days. What happens in 30 days? It's not here any longer. If it's in the marsh, my love, it's one and the same. A marsh and right alongside the public domain is the same. It's low. Meaning the area right alongside the Rosh Hashanah is identical like Rosh Hashanah. When it's off the beaten track, rabbinically that could be your domain. An agam is your domain, because you can acquire an agam. But right alongside Rosh Hashanah, that's for public usage. What's that? There's another version. Amalei Bugareshi says, no, she's divorced. Rav Nachman, based on what Rav Nachman said. Rav Nachman said that what? That the agam, so Tzir Shizarabim, Kagam Dom, Adrab, Ein Bugareshis. Rav Shmuel, my love, Hainu Shizarabim, Hainu Shizarabim. Because Rav Shmuel said if it's lying Rosh Hashanah, that's only. He says, no, lo, Rosh Hashanah l'chud, Tzir Shizarabim l'chud. Therefore, if the get is Tzir Shizarabim, according to the second version, she's Mugareshes. We rule like the second version, that if it's Tzir Shizarabim, it's alongside Rosh Hashanah, that's equivalent of a marsh, and she is divorced.